Now, scientists have revealed that workers are happier when they work from home. Do you agree? Now listen to our Did You Know segment to get more information on that. You are welcome as well to sponsor that segment, Did You Know? Welcome to your #1 labor program from Africa to the rest of the world, the Tripartite. I am your host, Abulu Osemwahu. Thank you for joining us.
Did you know? Scientists have been studying remote work for 4 years and have reached a very clear conclusion. Working from home makes us happier. How true is this? Did you know? Has the facts below for your information. A 4-year Australian study has shed new light on one of the biggest workplace shifts of our time, working from home. Starting before the pandemic and continuing through the years that followed, researchers from the University of South Australia tracked how teleworking impacts employees' daily lives. Their findings are clear: when it's a choice rather than an obligation, remote work significantly boosts happiness, health, and overall well-being. The real benefits of working from home. The pandemic acted as an accelerator, forcing millions into telework almost overnight. What many considered a temporary adjustment soon turned into a lifestyle change. This research, unique because it began before COVID-19 followed. Australian workers across 4 years, offering an unusually comprehensive view of telework's long-term effects. While not without its challenges, the data strongly suggest that remote work can be a powerful tool for creating healthier, more balanced lives. More sleep, less stress. One of the most immediate effects of working from home was better sleep. On average, remote workers gained an extra 30 minutes of rest per night. Considering that Australians used to spend around 4.5 hours a week commuting, this isn't surprising. Long commutes have long been linked to poor mental health and higher stress levels. By eliminating or reducing these daily journeys, employees experienced more energy, less fatigue, and greater peace of mind. Although researchers noted a slight uptick in alcohol consumption during the early months of lockdowns, the overall trend was overwhelmingly positive, with clear improvements in mental well-being. The time-saving equation. The time saved from not commuting proved to be invaluable. Some workers used it to get ahead on projects or manage household responsibilities, while others invested it in family care. Interestingly, about a third of that saved time was directed toward leisure and physical activity. Productivity meets personal life. This balance between productivity and personal enrichment shows that remote work doesn't simply give back hours, it redistributes them in healthier ways. Similar studies in Spain even suggest that teleworkers effectively gain up to 10 extra days of free time per year, time that can reduce sedentary behavior and improve overall health. Solution. It won't suit every job, industry, or personality. Instead, it should be seen as one option within a more flexible, inclusive work environment. The real challenge for companies is to design systems that accommodate diverse needs, creating customized approaches that balance business performance with employee well-being. As the researchers put it, this isn't about choosing sides, remote versus office, but about building a future of work that embraces both. The Australian study confirms what many workers have felt for years: flexibility matters. By cutting commuting stress, encouraging healthier lifestyles, and maintaining productivity, working from home has proven to be far more than a pandemic stopgap. For employees, it means better well-being and more freedom. For businesses, it's a chance to rethink management, culture, and performance. And for society, it marks the beginning of a new philosophy of work, one that values balance as much as output. The conclusion. The flexibility to work from home provides measurable benefits for both physical and mental health.
My name is Mohammed Megardi Gadi, the Minister of Labor and Employment. You are watching the Tripartite program on AIT.
The Tripartite. It's new, it's fresh, it's informative. It's educational and it is authentic. The tripartite holds onto the workers, the employers, the government, and the international development partners on a round table to critically dissect issues concerning employment, productivity, welfare, safety, and health. A people united can never be defeated. Join us on the tripartite, the worker, employer, and government roundtable.
Welcome back. Now, did you know that Nigeria now has a revised national employment policy? What is the policy all about? You'll get that detailed in our Let's Talk segment coming up after the global update on labor stories.
Hello and thanks for joining us on this episode. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions have issued a 7-day ultimatum to the government over unresolved issues affecting non-academic staff in universities. In a letter dated September 12, 2025, the two unions condemned what they call the unjust disbursement of earned allowances to university staff, the non-payment of outstanding allowances, and other unresolved issues. The letter, which was signed by the Ssanu President Muhammad Ibrahim and Nasu General Secretary Peters Adeyemi, reminded the Minister of Education Tonji Alausa of a June 18, 2025 letter from the Joint Action Committee, JAC. The non-academic staff unions say, for the avoidance of doubt, the issues raised in the letter centered on unjust disbursement of 50 billion earned allowances, non-payment of outstanding withheld salaries, and 25 and 35% salary increments, as well as the renegotiation of year 2009 FGN and Nasu Ssanu agreements. The president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has mocked the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, Nupeng, for warning Nigerians against accepting Dangote Refinery's recent fuel price reduction. Dangote had announced lower petrol pump prices in several states, alongside a new scheme to deploy compressed natural gas (CNG) trucks directly to filling stations, a move expected to reduce logistics costs. But Nupeng dismissed the offer as a Greek gift, alleging that the refinery was undermining workers' rights, sidelining the union, and pushing drivers into a rival association. Addressing newsmen at the refinery on Monday on the first anniversary of gasoline production, Dangote took a swipe at the union over its criticism, saying, "They said we gave Nigerians a Greek gift. Why don't you give the French one? Even if it's a Greek gift, it means that it is a gift will still be there all the time." The National Union of Local Government Employers of Nigeria, NULG, is appealing to the country's President Bola Tinubu to order the immediate release of funds meant for 30 local government areas in the Osun State Southwest, not to stall grassroots development. NULG said the appeal has become necessary as it is possible to jeopardize the good intention of the Supreme Court ruling on local government autonomy. The Ethiopian Airlines branch of the National Union of Air Transport Employees of Nigeria, NUATE, has cancelled its planned industrial action following mediation by the federal government. The union had threatened to embark on strike over the refusal of the management of the airline to implement the collective bargaining agreement on the 13th month salary, the non-promotion of workers, casual contract staffing, and low remuneration. A statement by the Minister of Labor and Employment, Mohammed Dingyari, and signed by the ministry's spokesperson, Patience Onwobia, said at the end of a conciliation meeting convened by the minister. The NUATE and Ethiopian Airlines in Nigeria signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) to meet within 2 weeks to discuss all issues in dispute and revert to the ministry. Nigeria is set to introduce a work-related reward system of workers to increase their productivity level to drive economic growth. The government is also working on instruments that will always link every minimum wage increase to the amount of productivity level of workers in a bid to weed redundancy and truancy. These were revealed by the Director General of the National Productivity Center, Bafa Danagundi, at a valedictory session for a former Director General, Raji Mustafa, in Abuja. Burkina Faso junta leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has portrayed himself as a champion of Pan-Africanism, as it has removed visa fees for all African travelers in an effort to facilitate the movement of people and goods into the country. African visitors will, however, be required to submit an online visa application, which will be reviewed for approval. The West African nation joins countries such as Ghana, Rwanda, and Kenya, which have eased travel requirements for African visitors. Citizens of West African countries can already travel to Burkina Faso without the need for visas. However, this may change in the future because the country has pulled out of the regional bloc, ECOWAS, the African Regional Organization of the International Trade Union Confederation, ITUC-Africa, has eulogized Ethiopia following the country's historic inauguration of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, said to be Africa's largest hydroelectric dam. In a statement signed by ITUC-Africa General Secretary Akator Joel Odigye said the Pan-African labor body hailed the commissioning of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, as more than a national success, calling it a continental inspiration that signifies a major stride towards energy sovereignty. The African Workers' Body noted that Ethiopia is showing that development and decarbonization can go hand in hand, while adding that it is a step towards building resilient economies that prioritize workers, communities, and the environment, while also stressing that international labor standards, ILS, are non-negotiable. Government workers in British Columbia in Canada are on strike this month, demanding the government provide more resources for quality public services and better, safer workplace conditions. Bert Blunden, president of Nupeng, said, "Members are standing up not only for themselves, but for the future of public services in British Columbia." Meanwhile, over 99% of Canada Union of Public Employees, QP members at Air Canada, have resoundingly rejected the company's meager pay offer after the government intervened on the corporation's behalf to try deter industrial action. QP's Wesley Lasowski said, "Air Canada never bargained in good faith on wages."
Welcome back. Now, due to the changing times, the technology drive, the AI, and several other issues, also the issue of domestic workers' migration and what have you, the Nigerian government has revised its national employment policy. Let's take a listen to the Minister of Labor and Employment and the representative of the International Labour Organization as they provide for us detailed information on the policy.
The NEP 2025 is not a standalone policy. It is a strategic compass aligned with Nigeria's National Development Plan 2021-2025, ECOWAS Labour and Employment Protocols, the African Union's Agenda 2063, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the International Labour Organization's Future of Work Initiative. More importantly, the policy fully resonates with the priority areas of the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. You are all aware that at the heart of the renewed hope agenda is a national commitment to lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty through job creation, youth empowerment. This policy, therefore, offers a coherent roadmap to actualize and attain these goals by promoting decent work, formalizing the informal economy, boosting employability, and unlocking emerging sectors for job creation. Furthermore, in line with Mr. President's vision, the NEP identifies employment not only as an economic objective, but also as a tool for social justice, national security, and sustainable development. This policy provides a strategic direction for all employment-related initiatives under the administration, ensuring synergy across MDAs and alignment with national priorities. It ensures that no one, particularly our youth, women, and persons with disabilities, is left behind in the drive for national transformation. This revised NEP provides practical guidelines and targeted strategies to address employment challenges across multiple dimensions, from policy coherence and institutional coordination to promoting innovation, formalization, digital jobs, skill development, and decent work. It also introduces measurable indicators and timelines to enable evidence-based implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. In other words, this is not just a document of good intentions, it is a roadmap for measurable transformation. Significantly, the NEP 25 recognizes the evolving contours of the Nigerian economy. It integrates emerging sectors such as digital economy, where the potential for youth-driven job creation and entrepreneurial growth is enormous. The blue economy, with Nigeria's cultural assets, offering untapped employment opportunities in shipping, aquaculture, and marine services. The green economy, where we must leverage climate-smart agriculture, clean energy, and green manufacturing to promote both sustainability and jobs. The orange economy, which spans creative industries, music, film, fashion, and arts, all areas where Nigeria is globally competitive. Equally, the policy recognizes remote work, that is telework, as an increasingly viable and flexible mode of employment, especially for persons with disabilities, women with care responsibilities, and others facing mobility constraints. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the policy's most important contributions is the strengthening of institutional coordination. It empowers the National Employment Council and its Secretariat to function as a robust intersectoral mechanism for monitoring, evaluation, and alignment of efforts. We can no longer afford fragmented or duplicated interventions. Resources are limited, and the challenges before us are too significant to be addressed in silos. There is therefore a dire need for intentional interventions and coordination of efforts to achieve meaningful and sustainable impact. However, no policy, no matter how well crafted, will implement itself. Our collective task now is to bring this policy to life. This requires resolute political will, sustained financing, institutional accountability, and most of all, partnerships. To that end, I make the following appeals. 1. To state governments, we urge you to domesticate the NEP and align your job creation strategies with this national framework. Employment is a shared mandate, and the state-level action is crucial to delivering results. To the private sector, we call on you to collaborate with us in designing labor market responsive skills programs, investing in employment-rich sectors, and supporting workplace innovation and formalization. To our development partners, your continued support will be critical in strengthening national capacities, building employment data systems, and ensuring that no one is left behind in the labor market.
The International Labour Organization congratulates the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment and indeed the people of Nigeria today for the launch of the revised National Employment Policy. Indeed, the policy comes at a timely moment and an auspicious time where varying conditions of employment dynamics, including unemployment, underemployment, skills mismatches and gaps exist in Nigeria, and it is believed that this policy will provide the platform and leeway for addressing majority of these labor market challenges. ILO is particularly delighted, having participated and provided the required technical support in the revision and the development of the new national employment policy, working closely and together in collaboration with our social partners, employers and workers organizations, other national stakeholders. National employment policies globally provides a platform and a mechanism through which nation states design interventions, labor market programming, and fundamental aspects of improvements in the labor markets where people of the respective countries are in a position to grow wealth, earn living wages, and remuneration to improve well-being. It is in this regard that the ILO supports member states, including Nigeria in this instance, to revisit the initial provisions of the employment policy previously developed and develop this revised policy to take into consideration evolving market dynamics, labor trends, and fundamental principles and rights at work to provide Nigeria with a gender-responsive policy. ILO is delighted that this policy provides a very programmatic and progressive framework for addressing the labor market challenges, and we do pledge to continue to support the government of Nigeria in not just the launch here today, but indeed the implementation, because we believe this is where we have to get to work.
Welcome back. Now, don't forget, the Tripartite is your friend. At here, the Tripartite, the workers' lives matter, employers' business matter, government policies matter, pensioners' welfare matters, eliminating child labor matters, fair recruitment matters, fair labor migration matters. And don't forget, you watching the program, you matter. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, and please send a WhatsApp message and not a phone call on our phone number displayed on the screen. I remain your host as always. Let's do this again next time. I am Abulu Osemahu.